Greetings and hello world. Welcome to Era's Tour. Joined tonight by my co-anchor Heather. Together we'll bring you the latest news and headlines of the day.
Now we're about to discover ancient Near East, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman architecture in different eras.
So Angel, tell me about the first contestant.
Before Egypt, Greece, and Rome, it is the place where the story of civilization started, the ancient Mesopotamia, a land between Tigris and Euphrates that is known today as Iraq, fostered the innovation that changed the world forever. Mesopotamia's stable climate, rich soil make it ideal for civilization to thrive. One of the most important innovations is literacy, developed into sophisticated writing system that is now called the cuneiform. From about 4500 BC to 2000 BC, the Sumerian is considered the first civilization to rise along with the massive temple, such as the most famous, the Great Ziggurat-Ur. Sumerians started producing complex architectural masterpieces that were nearly entirely made of brick, including vaults, domes, and arches. The Babylonian Empire from 200 BC to 1600 BC had enormous wealth and power, which were undoubtedly thought to be a biblical fable. The most significant contribution of the Babylonian is the Law Code of King Hammurabi. Mud brick walls and roofings are defined as the style of building from ancient Babylon. Babylon is known for many things, including the impressive Ishtar Gate, massive walls, and buildings. Neo-Babylon civilization was a great city of culture and learning, and its impressive Hanging Garden is considered one of the wonders of the ancient world. At one point, Mesopotamia was unified with the Akkadian Empire. From the year 2300 to 2200 BC, the consolidation of the Sumerian civilization under King Sargon of Akkad greatly influenced the development of his first Mesopotamian kingdom, affecting the Akkadians' political, language, and artistic expression. Akkadians' walls were built poorly, homes were designed like domes, and the entire house were constructed by clay.
Thank you, partner. Now, in this part of the segment, we will be exploring the Hittite, Assyrian, Persian, and Parthian architecture and its history. First is the Hittite era. In terms of their structures and cities, most of them are little more than ruins. Builders used a style of stonework called the Cyclopean masonry. Its architecture had a clear defensive purpose because surrounding Hattusa and other cities were heavy double-walled fortifications and some with tunnels. Next is the Assyrian era. Assyrian Empire dominated Mesopotamia and the rest of Near East, ruled by the series of highly ambitious and aggressive warrior kings. During this period, one of the most notable works is the Palace of Sargon. In addition, Assyrian sculpture typically placed prominent a pair of lamassu, a protective winged bull, at entrance in their palaces. Let's move to the Persian era. Persia was the first empire known to have acknowledged different faith, language, and sort of political organization. Persian architecture achieved its greatest monumentality, where a palace called Persipol was established as a new capital for the Persian Empire. That's all. Back to Anchor Sachi and Heather. Thank you for that report on the ancient Near East architecture. It is incredible to think about the engineering and design capabilities of this ancient civilization.
That's right, Sachi, and it's interesting to see how some of those architectural techniques and styles have influenced modern-day buildings.
Moving on to Egyptian architecture. What do we have there, Erica?
Yes, Sachi, we are live here at Cairo, Egypt, and happening right now is the UNESCO Scale Model Competition. In Sachi, it is scorching here because of the intense summer heat, but visitors still manage to witness the works of our contestants. And here with me is one of the contestants' model of the famous Egyptian icon, the Pyramid of Giza.
But did you know that there are many types of pyramid aside from the famous slope pyramid? There are also the bent and the step pyramids. This pyramid serves as a burial chamber for kings, queens, pharaohs, and noble Egyptians. The pyramids and all the other buildings of Egyptian architecture are usually made of stone, cyanide bricks, date palm and palm leaves for roofing, and the sycamore for mummy cases. Egyptian architecture is distinct for its simple but massive and decorative monuments like the Sphinx, and of course the small details such as the wall hieroglyphics. Let's take a closer look at this one. It's a great temple of Abu Simbel, which is a rock-hewn temple. You can see the four rock-cut colossal statues Sachi, no? These are real massive statues of Ramesses, which measure over 20 meters high. Egyptians surely love to build massive buildings, but it is not just the massiveness that impresses people, but the details such as the columns and capitals of Egyptian temples. They have the Baden bell, volute, heather-headed, polygonal columns, palm type, and the Osiris pillars papyrus capitals, together with the square pillars. And for the last one, Sachi, we have the model of the Great Temple of Amun-Kana, which is the grandest temple in Egyptian planning. Aside from the Batter Wall, which is a feature of their architecture, you can also see the visible divisions of the spaces in the temple. In the front part is the massive slope pylons fronted by obelisk pillars that serves as a gateway, followed by the hypaethral court open to the sky, then the hypostyle hall, which is the pillared hall, the sanctuary, which is surrounded by passages and chambers, and the avenue of Sphinx at the back, where the mythical monster is placed.
That's it, and back to you, Heather and Sachi.
Thank you, Erica, for the phenomenal information about the Egyptian architecture. It's amazing how buildings were built on a grand scale and were designed to impress and awe visitors with their size and beauty.
It is truly an impressive and influential style that shaped the art and architecture of subsequent civilization.
Now let's check in with Mika to hear about Greek architecture.
Yes, Heather. Now let's take a closer look on the factors that influenced the architecture of ancient Greece.
In Greece, because of moderate cold and relaxing heat temperatures, materials such as marbles and stones were commonly used in construction to withstand the weather. Actually, buildings were designed to provide shade and coolness during the strong sunlight and hot summers. And did you know that for a long time, Greece was not one united country because of its difficult terrain? Instead, it is consisted of different city-states that often competed against each other. The Greeks believed in gods that looked like humans, and actually, for them, building temples is their way of honoring the gods, and it is where they store offerings. They also made gathering places called agoras for citizens to come together. These buildings showed off the strength and richness of their city-states. The Greek architecture is known for its design elements, such as columns, and the focus on balance and symmetry. In the period of Greek architecture, there have been three famous orders of column: the Doric, Ionic, and the Corinthian, each with their own style. To show you the beauty of ancient Greek architecture, one fine example is the Parthenon, a Doric building made entirely of Pentelic marble.
That's all from Greece. Back to you, Heather and Sachi.
Thank you, Mika, for the fascinating look into the world of Greek architecture.
The legacy of ancient Greece continues to inspire the architecture of this day.
That's right, but as we shift our focus to the next era, we must acknowledge the profound impact of ancient Rome in the world of architecture.
Finally, live in Italy, we have Aliyah for the last entry of the contest. Ciao, Aliyah!
Yes, Sachi, as you can see in my background, it looks like the Colosseum and the Pantheon are the main highlights for the Roman architecture. Those models were exclusively made of tough concrete, lime, marble, and stones. But did you know that Romans actually continued the legacy left by the Greek architects? Although the Romans were heavily influenced by ancient Greece, they were able to make improvement to certain borrowed Greek designs and inventions. For example, they continued the use of columns, but the form became more decorative and less structural in Roman buildings. Ancient Romans created curved roofs and large-scale arches, which were able to support more weight than the post and lintel construction the Greek used. The arches serve as the foundation for the massive bridges and aqueducts the Romans created. The game-loving ancients also built large amphitheaters. The sports stadiums we use today, with their oval shapes and tired seating, derive from the basic idea the Romans developed. The ancient Romans helped lay the groundwork for many aspects of the modern world. It is no surprise that the once booming empire was able to impact the world in so many ways and leave a lasting legacy behind. With that, for now, let's go back to the studio.
Thank you, Aliyah, for that report. Today, we had the privilege of exploring the world of ancient architecture and uncovering some of the incredible feats achieved by our ancestors.
We learned about the iconic structures of ancient Greece, such as the Parthenon and the Temple of Olympian Zeus, and their influence on modern architecture. The precision and symmetry of Greek temples continue to inspire designers and architects around the world.
We also delved into the monumental structures of Rome, including the Colosseum and the Pantheon. The Romans were engineering pioneers, and their structures continue to impress us with their durability and functionality.
But beyond their impressive engineering, the structures we explored today hold a special cultural significance. They serve as a reminder of our shared human history and the ingenuity of our ancestors.
As we conclude this segment, let us reflect on the importance of preserving and studying our shared cultural heritage and how it can inform and inspire our present and future. With that, this is Sachi,
And Heather for Architalk,
where the story begins. Good day.